Welcome back, everybody. Civilization restarts. Before we begin, I know the last video had no audio. I just watched it. It's been out for too long for me to do anything now. Yeah. Moving on. Okay. We're gonna begin right over here with these guys. Send another boat, and this time it's gonna land over here. Now they are the first to invent boats, I think. However, that they can't really export it. So, to the knowledge of the real world, first to export boats is still the blue team. First to make boats is still the blue team. Because those guys, though, they just can't create. Can't they haven't exported it ever. The world doesn't even know they exist. That is their problem right now. The red team hasn't really nationalized boats yet either. Back over here in Sri Lanka, the country creates a horrible raft. It's broken, and eventually, after a storm, the people kind of on it, which is like 2,000, 3,000, eventually land in Indonesia. They quickly realize there's going to be absolutely no help from there and decide to adventure a bit. There, they find the Indonesians who are living on this island already, the new Indonesians. This is their name is Ni Indo. I'm joking. It's just Malacca. The People's Republic of Malacca. So quickly, the two begin fighting in this land, and this fighting is eventually followed by the people of Malacca thing slaying all those who lived there, and the Moluccans win the war insanely easily. They also colonize all of this, so now we have a rogue nation, a very rogue nation that whose first encounters with the rest of the world were aggressive. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem in the future. It'll be fine, guys. Right, guys. It'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Meanwhile, these guys, they also launch a boat, and this one is gonna land in Pyongyang as well as Seoul. The land of both will be something like this, I think. So yeah, those guys exist now. Wait, is this the same color as the Sri Lankans? Chat, did I mess up? It's just slightly darker. Okay, that's good. That's good then. We're fine. Back over here. I didn't mean to do that. Back over here. The Mamluks help the Mamluks and the blue team sign a little bit of a peace treaty to create a new nation right here, which is kind of supposed to be like a buffer zone between the two. And it's going to be lime. I like how that looks. Over here, these guys, they're not doing very well in terms of getting along with each other. But over here, a new nation is created. One that the world thinks is absolutely disgusting to be created because this country, the Caucasus Republic. No, isn't this the Caucasus People's Republic? The Caucasus People's Republic. One, in response to these guys. Two, they exist because they think, I think the Caucasus Mountains, something like that. They say that they want to they say that they want to explore above the Caucasus, which everyone says don't, no, stop it. That's illegal. We agreed on that. We said this is a boundary of the world, and we don't want to release whatever demons hiding behind it. No offense to anyone that lives in this part of the world. That's just what the red team said. Moving on. So yeah, people are very much against the creation of this thing. That doesn't matter. These guys don't care. They knew it was going to be like that. The part they do care about is their capital's right there, immediately able to be attacked. So I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. Meanwhile, I forgot to capital these countries. That's capital right there. That's capital is right there. There. What else? Is there anything else? These guys' capital is down here. These guys' capital is right here in Sonoy. These guys' capital is right here. Okay, I think that's every country's capital for the most part. Yeah, it seems like it. Well, these guys' maritime empire is about to get it absolutely demolished because the red team, their invasions of these guys finally make these guys be like, we can't really do anything. May as well send a boat. And the boat, after there's a promised land over here, Greece. The boat kind of gets lost. Eventually crash lands in Istanbul. Yep, they did it. They discovered Europe, the first the first major civilization to discover Europe. Quickly, the settlers colonize it immediately, and news is kept relatively on the low, quiet side, mostly because people don't want these everyone else to know that Europe exists. Because these guys, last time they trusted someone, this is what happened to them. That someone was their military. It absolutely failed. So yeah, they colonized this, but they don't let it get out of hand. However, the red team isn't going to let anything happen. And after some rumors begin spreading of a major discovery in this region, the main library that's kind of organized this information is right there, and the red team quickly invades, capturing the library, burning it into looting it firstly, and then burning over 3 weeks of information. In this world so far, only like 6, 7, 30 years. No, not even 30 years. Like 20 years have passed. The library is relatively new, but the capture of this is devastating. Red Team, although eventually retracts its forces, they now know about Europe, and this information is let out to the rest of the world. The Red Team themselves launch an expedition, kind of crashes, launch another one, crashes, another one, crashes, another one, crashes, till the Mamluks launch one, and it lands right here in this island, confirming the existence of Europe. These guys begin getting scared and quickly begin colonizing more and more, mostly in the Balkans right now. Now here is the thing. Those guys, the Crimeans, they still don't know the rest of the world exists. Eventually the red team invents a new boat, one that's supposedly able to travel much more. This one does not crash. This one lands right here on the opposite side of Crimea. The two people's forces meet, negotiations begin, and these guys are introduced to the rest of the world. The blue team, on the other hand, their boats were already insanely overpowered. However, they quickly make a landing back over in India, wanting to restart their colonization, led by one man. This one man eventually launches another boat from here and meets the Sri Lankans, who are also now introduced to the rest of the world. Uh, yeah, now the only unspoken two tribes is over here, because remember, the people over here that found these guys never actually, met back with the actual Sri Lankans, since all of them are oofed. The red team, meanwhile, again, now, remember, the king, his biggest port is probably either here or here, probably not anywhere here, because that entire thing is burned. So he really now with his new boat wants to travel all the way to the edge of the world where they say there's a bunch of gold. The people still want to go to the much more realistic Indian place, especially they also really want to colonize this part of India. Um, Mostly because one, it's just a haha blue team, you weren't able to colonize this, but we are. Oh, but also it's a really good location, and the problem is it takes a lot of money. Red team has that money, but they're not going to do it. The ruler in Qatar orders the ships to go there. However, sailors rebel, not wanting to get lost at sea like their brothers who got lost trying to find Greece before them. And this leads to a revolution. The revolution mostly starts in the major ports on the Mediterranean right here, and eventually kind of just freezes until the death of the king and his son, the successor, who is still like in his 20s, which is pretty young for a ruler. So many more people actually begin rebelling, being like, "Okay, no, this isn't gonna work. You're like 20. You're not leading our nation, buddy." Um, that's gonna that's gonna actually allow for an opportunity from these guys also to launch an invasion and capture a bunch of land. The king, the newly crowned king, not really being able to control much of his country yet, isn't able to stop the revolutionaries. These guys begin doing stuff. They launch some wars over here, capture a lot. However, the people living here really don't want to be in control of them, so that's pushed back. Eventually, the revolutionaries are destroyed after the king proves to be a very good leader, actually. He's a very good military general. He launches a crusade into the capital of the rebellion over here, and peace. Problem with this peace is that it's a peace between these guys and the king, not between the Persians and the red team. And the Persians, they go ahead and assume that this is a get-go for them to. I don't know if I used get-go correctly in that, but they're gonna say that okay, well, since this land is under our control right now, we're just gonna go ahead and annex it. And they go ahead and annex it. The ruler over here is like, "Hey, no, 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 that's the border. You go back immediately." These guys are like, "Nuh-uh." So now there's two claims: these guys wanting to push the border here, and then the red team wanting to push the border here. This thing, meanwhile, is landed on by the blue team, who recolonize it, and now the blue team's kind of flourishing. Blue team scouts help. blue team scouts actually run into tribes over here, but instead of being annexed by them, the tribes actually already were in talks with these guys, and they're annexed. Now I don't remember if these guys were a puppet of the blue team. We're gonna say they were unspoken puppet state. They're heavily influenced. So in an attempt for the king to break away from the influence of the blue team, war is declared. Blue team absolutely steamrolls these guys back till here, and eventually completely destroys the nation itself after landing on the capital. Here's the thing though. The blue team doesn't annex any land. No, 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 no. The blue team is done with these guys completely. And the blue team dissolutes the nation. The nation of Somaliland no longer exists. The first nation to not, the first like major country not just have been pushed back really far, but to be fully destroyed. This is quite the blow to the morale of the people living here, who quickly find themselves falling under blue team control. With the blue team also extending their Ethiopian thing or Abyssinian region, they also semi-autonomous for all the natives of the world to be able to come here. Still, that's still the safe haven, just now under new administration. So yeah, those people immediately colonized. However, in response to all of this, we do have a pop-up of a majorly large nation, a coalition, perhaps you could say, Somalia. Dun dun dun. It's gonna be the same color as Somaliland because I'm running out of colors, but it's not Somaliland. So it's yeah, okay, there we go. The blue team is going to respond to this by absolutely aggressively colonizing a large majority of land around them and around these guys under their Ethiopian or Abyssinian under by via their Abyssinian country thing. So yeah, that's going to be absolutely destructive. And also the last thing that's going to happen today, for the most part, there is going to be one more thing. These guys already kind of haven't been destroyed, now fall under a new threat from a new nation. These guys, who launched their first war, an overseas war, and they quickly create the first military boats. Landings are made, and the lot is captured. These guys don't have a capital. We're gonna say their capital is right there. All right, we're gonna say their capital is right there. But Istanbul is captured within just a few days of having been founded. Istanbul has been captured too. Also, these guys moved their capital to over here, I guess, because that's like the most likely place to be putting it. And these guys, though, they now have access to the open sea and the rest of the world. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Uh, anything else? No, not really. Go watch another video of the Civilization Restart series if you're new. If you're new, then well, you gotta catch up with the series. So watch season 2, watch season 1, which we just concluded. So, yeah, I hope